But with a big issue like this, Rusty Witten, it's now became a big issue, a big man issue, where the Grizzlies are going to be without your starting center and also your starting power forward going into the season for sure. Even if he's back, even after that 12 weeks, which is before the season starts on September the 24th, you would anticipate that he's not going to be ready to play then. He'll need probably, like you said, I'm thinking maybe 2 more weeks if he's cleared to play. I think it'll probably be 2 weeks before you see him actually on the court to get revved up for something like that. But with that being said, you won't have Jaren, you won't have Zach Edey to start the season. And the Grizzlies, who already needed a big man, I think the fact that you're going to be without 2 of your guys may mean you need to double down on whatever you were thinking at first. If you were thinking of a Goga Batadze, you might need to be thinking about a Walker Kessler now. You know what I mean? If you were thinking about a whoever, some athletic big man that's on somebody's bench, you maybe have to think about a Nick Claxton now or whatever. You might think about, dare I say, a Jared Allen at this point. You know what I mean? So I think the Grizzlies have to respond big with this thing, what they're doing, because my thing is, I hope this is a blessing in disguise. I hope this is something that does urge Zach Kleiman and the Grizzlies brass to swing, man. Because like I said, I'm a Zach Edey guy. You're a Zach Edey guy. I love Zach Edey. But I've said, man, if the Grizzlies have an opportunity to get a better big than Zach, where Zach is your big coming out the bench, go do it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, Sain.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. So the Utah Jazz came out today and said that it's going to take 2 first-round picks to get Walker Kessler. Would you rather take 2 first-round picks to get Walker Kessler, or would you rather call Cleveland with a couple first-round picks and maybe some younger stars and see if they would be willing to move off of Jared Allen?
I'm glad you said that. Let me speak on that too. People have to understand this. I'm definitely a Grizzlies fan, and I'm not trying to act like I'm better than anybody or I do think on different levels than people do because of the level of exposure I've had to certain things. And one thing I've done in the time that I've worked as a quasi-media member, full-time media member, independent, whatever. I've ran into people, I've been in circles, and I understand how information works. And I'll let y'all know this. And my guy, I can't think of my guy's name right now. The Lakers fan, coach, I can't think of my guy's name.
Coach Vaughn?
No. He's out of California. Coach, he's a Lakers fan. I've been on his podcast. He's been on mine. I can't think of his name right now. He got off Twitter for a while and came back. Anyway, he quoted the tweet about the Utah Jazz. It said, "This is just Danny Ainge telling the Lakers, fuck y'all." And that's what it was, man. Like, we have to understand, bro, that when stuff gets in the media, it's in the media for a reason, bro. Like these, if something like that exact comes out about Walker Kessler of all people, Walker Kessler is going to take 2 first-round picks. When that kind of stuff comes out, it's because the team that said it wants it to get out. And it's either because, hey, I'm really trying to move Walker Kessler for 2 first-round picks, or it could be Pelinka, fuck you, Rob Pelinka, fuck you. It could be one of it could be either one. Do I think that's a realistic action price for Walker Kessler? No. I think that if another team comes with a first-round pick and matching salary, that Walker Kessler could be got. Or Utah just may not be interested in moving him at all. Because he's definitely a guy that if they're rebuilding, he's a guy that could be around for the post-rebuild era of the Utah
especially
Jazz.
On a contract that's that cheap for a guy that's a decent-sized big and a decent big. Like, he's still on basically
and it's so hard
a rookie
deal. That's a valuable dude because he's still on his rookie deal, and it's kind of hard to match him. If they're looking for a young player, I know that Danny Ainge does have a fetish for highly ranked recruited high school guys who are 6'8", 6'9", who are versatile shot makers. If a Gigi Jackson can make a deal like that happen, I love Gigi. I want to see Gigi do his thing, but I would love to have Walker Kessler on this team as well. It's something to think about for sure, but this is something fans also have to understand. There's this narrative about the Grizzlies being cheap, right? And the Grizzlies not making moves. A lot of the Grizzlies not making moves over the last couple of years has been based on knowing I have this huge albatross situation with Jaren Jackson Jr. I was listening to my guy Chris Harrington the other day. He said when people were praising Jaren's contract he got, the last one, the $23 million one, Chris said there were people like me who were realizing, this is cool now, but this ain't going to be cool when it's time to pay that dude again.
Yeah.
But, and that's where we were now. And the Grizzlies knew they had that situation coming. They knew they were going to have to play Ja. They knew they paid Bain, which, in all honesty, was an overpay in hindsight.
Right.
You have to be careful about spending because if the Grizzlies were in a different situation, if they were way over the cap and, into the salary, luxury tax and all these things that certain people have been begging us to be a part of, you would have been rock again, between a rock and a hard place with Jaren, because you wouldn't be able to let Luke Kennard go and let Marvin Bagley go, and now you're under the cap, and now you can go pay off a Cole Anthony contract, a guy who never played for your team. You would not be able to do those type of things if we had been spin, go get guys like we've been talking the first. And now that that's behind you, don't rule out the Grizzlies being in a situation where they're now adding salary, because they are ways away from the tax. They're not there. There's a big gap between being over the cap and being over the tax. So do not be surprised to see the Grizzlies being in a cap relief type situation with a team like a Cleveland, or a team that wants to balance out their roster more. And you may say, hey, with a Brandon Clark and a John Conchar deal, and 1 or 2 picks interest you if you're trying to diversify your lineup. If you want what's my guy's name? The power forward there.
Jared Allen?
No.
Evan Mobley?
If you want Mobley to be your 5, you know what I mean? And you want to move off of Allen, would you be interested in a utility big like Brandon Clark, who can come off the bench and get rebounds and play some defense and bring energy? I mean, I'm not saying that's something that they would like to do, but the Grizzlies are in a situation now where they can take in another salary like that, because it's not going to put them in a situation where it affects the Ja deal is going to be easy. That's just going to be lined up and go give Ja the max and keep moving. But that Jaren thing was squirrely. It was been squirrely for a few years. It's been one of the worst, probably one of the better kept secrets with the Grizzlies, that what they were going to do with Jaren this summer has had their ass stressed out for years. Like how they're going to, because they knew his contract was too little to extend upon, which is why you send out a first round pick to get Marcus Smart off your books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to trade him for something. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think the Grizzlies had some things that they could have easily done to get a big now, but I'm hoping that they're swinging for a bigger fish now, because I just want to see us have a very solid starting lineup going forward. And I think if you can get a versatile big man who can defend, just give me a rim running big who can block shots, defend, athletic. Give me that. And I love Zach Edey. But if Zach Edey's coming off the bench, I can live with that, man. I'm cool with that.
And Jared Allen's contract makes a ton of sense. He averages about $30 million, but you can make that work with a Brandon Clark and Cole Anthony, and then give him a prospect.
And Cleveland would save money.
And
the money ain't really got to match. You can absorb that money from them, and they can save a little money as far as taxes go as well. I've been glued to my phone, man, because I believe the Grizzlies are about to do something